morning, everyone. Welcome inside the Faith Loop. It is Wednesday, March 18th. I always, I wish the English language was like that you actually pronounced all the letters in the word. You never know which one's silent. You're like, dang it.
Well, but other languages are the same. I mean, for instance, there's a golfer. He's really good.
No, that's just the way we pronounce it in English.
I know, but his name starts with an A, but his A-B-E-R-G, Oberg.
Yes, but it's got the little dealywigger on the top.
I know, but it's still an A.
Because that's the language. We're saying it in English.
I know, but it's still.
We think Auburg because it's an A, but it's not. That's their language.
I know, but I'm saying it's still an A.
Or their speech.
It's an A.
Dialect.
And it's Oberg.
Right. In their dialect.
Food
if we
in the hood.
use the English, that's what I'm saying. Theirs is they don't do that. They're pronouncing every letter in there, I guarantee it.
Yeah, but it's still it's an O and it's an A.
No. English. No, it's not. I know you were watching the Players' Championship. I was too. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
It was a good tournament. All right. Well, enough of that. Pleasure. It is crisis. It's crisis all around us. All kinds of nonsense going on. Day 2,111,421 of the crisis of identity. And we're going to talk about something here because I for some time, we talk about language and defining language, thought, and then speech, dialect. Today we're going to look at a proverb. And I said to Dad, I said, did Solomon write these proverbs on the way down? I'm just saying.
Well, to be honest, I think Solomon wrote a lot of those proverbs out of his own despair with things.
Sometimes I think so.
Yeah, because, he's saying, why do you do this?
Well, Ecclesiastes, most of that's lament.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So, I think Solomon was the last king of Israel that ruled over both north and south, too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think so.
I think, because I think it got ugly after he passed.
It did.
But we're going to look at this translation and then how we interpret this particular proverb. And I think interpretation, we spend more time with interpretation than looking at proper translation. Because language has changed over the centuries. And what I mean by that is culture.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? What are you saying, Brian? Language, Well, yeah. And it's not so much we're speaking, different type of English, which we are, right? It's a different form of English. You go back and look at Old or High German, which is where English came from. But you go look at some of these words, you wouldn't know what they are. Spelled differently, it just the way they spoke.
Right.
Okay, so it all evolved as well.
Yep.
Or I shouldn't say evolved. Nothing. It doesn't evolve. It changes. For whatever reason, it does. And but language is thought. That's why culture matters. That's why what we see around us, in the world today. Is the United States of America the same United States of America as 1900 at the turn of the century, of the 20th century? Is it the same? Would you think it is?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Well, because the culture has changed so much. Well,
that's my point.
Yeah.
I said culture, is it the same Is the United States the same as it was at the turn of the 20th century as it is today, culturally?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so at all.
No, because they've changed it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, with with all the phases that we, as they say, that we've gone through with our young people and this generation, Gen Z, and all this and everything going on, through our educational system, the universities have literally changed the culture, I think. Had a great hand in it, at least. Plus, all the other stuff that has come along has changed the culture from what it was when I was a kid to what it is today, actually.
I definitely think the universities played a part, but not till later in probably the mid to late 20th century.
It came along when the young people of this country began to say, who are we and what is this and what is that, and the drug culture came, and that's when the universities, I think, really changed. The professors and so forth, they began to teach different things, and the universities changed along with, and I said this Sunday when I saw the Beatles get off the airplane, I watched it. First time I told my wife, I said, the country will not be the same now. It'll never be the same in the sense of our young people and our youth and so forth. And it hasn't been.
Because we've been speaking English in this nation since its inception.
Yeah.
For the most part.
For the most part.
It's the common tongue, to use a phrase. A colloquialism, I guess, a biblical colloquialism.
Yeah.
The common tongue.
Yeah.
But language is different than speech or dialect. Language is not English, Spanish, French, German, this, that, whatever. Language is thought and defines culture, because two people can think the same way and speak completely different dialects. It's as simple as that. But they can think absolutely the same way. That happens all the time. We see this in the world today. Now, we don't have as much barrier in dialect as we used to.
No.
Okay, so that is becoming a thing of the past in that respect. So now it just is a focus on culture and language. The ideology of existence. Because language is thought, and we use our speech to share our thoughts. And the more the barrier, the divide, the confusion is gone that Jehovah set in place at Babel, the more we've seen the world coalesce into a thought process of a unified thought of how we live, what we should do, how we should exist. And you're like, oh, whether we're fighting wars and that's not true. Yes, it is. It's more true than you think. We see a lot of, I think, public theater. Like we were just discussing before we started here live. What was it? He's the national one of the
national
counterintelligence director.
Counterintelligence.
And he wrote a letter and resigned. And I hope theater. People go, and there's so much hubbub now, and people are fodder for the masses, folks. Fodder for the masses. I pay no attention to that nonsense. None. Because that's what it is, nonsense. And it keeps people in a state of anxiety. And I believe that is how they feel they can control things better.
Well, yeah, it is. And when you look at the news blurb on it, he writes a scathing letter to Trump. Okay. All of it, as you say, is theater, in the sense that, how shall I put it? It seems like to me, I don't know, and I'm like my son, I don't pay much attention to any of that stuff. I really don't. People ask me all the time, hear about it? No, I didn't hear about it. I didn't read it. I don't care. But because they're all just vying for position. They're vying for a place of authority.
At the table.
At
right.
the table, yeah. And, well, he resigned. How could that? Well, see, I don't know what's in the guy's mind. I don't know what his aspirations are. Nobody's told me that.
I don't know the man.
I don't know him. So all I'm reading is a letter.
Yeah.
See? And I haven't read it. I read a little part of it and then quit. I said, I don't care. So what? So he resigned. So this guy is that guy, and this guy did this. There's been a few of them quit. There's been this one fired because of certain things.
Right.
Okay. We just had elections in Illinois yesterday. When the commercials would come on, my wife or I watching TV, and when those commercials come on, we turn off. I turn the sound off. I don't want to hear them. Don't want to listen to them. Republican, Democrat, Schmemocrat, whoever it is, I don't care. I don't want to listen to him. Here we got Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, walking around, and this commercial. Well, I've started walking. I'm walking now and I'm meeting people, and the camera's following him, and they're filming all of this. People shaking his hand. Oh, yeah, right, because the camera follows him everywhere he goes, and they film him everywhere he goes, and they film him talking to all these people that love him and everything, and it's all baloney. I mean, you think I'm stupid?
Yep.
They
Yes,
do.
they
They think
do.
we're stupid. And you know what? I don't know I'm going to say it, but if, following him around and all this mess, what are we doing? What?
Because, Dad, this is, and to the point we're making here, because that's language,
Yeah.
and that develops culture in society. Say what you want to. They know this is the way it works, folks. This is the nature of it. And this is why I want to bring this proverb up, because Solomon is dealing with the same things. If you read, we're going to look at Proverbs 18, and a particular, right in the middle of it. But Solomon is dealing with political issues, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He was the king.
And he's talking about all these different things that happen and why they happen. And we miss the point because we put this in some ethereal, what we call spiritual realm, like, oh, yes. And we only think within our own cultural context.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Solomon's pointing out, really, I think, the nonsense of everything.
Yeah, he is.
The bribery, the corruption, the theft. What's different today? And there's a particular point right in the middle of this whole proverb where he says, and this is why a man's gift makes a way before him and sets him before great men. Why did he say that? Well, culturally and in contextual thought process, you have to look at the whole scope of what he's talking about to understand the meaning of it. But the problem is we only look at it in one framework. We're looking at it from our own perspective, our own cultural context, the ways of men. And we miss the point of what Solomon, I think, or I should say the language of Jehovah, because we've changed and we interpret only by our own cultural understanding, our own language. Mm-hmm. And we don't really have an understanding of Jehovah and the culture of Jehovah.
Not much.
Would you agree?
Yeah, not much. Not much at all.
I think you've been talking about that for quite some time, Pop.
I have. When you look at things, and if you read history, go back and read through history, our own history of the United States, history of any other country, general history going all the way back to the kings of Persia, the kings of Babylon and Israel and all of it. One thing you see that runs through all of it is there's never an answer for anything on long-term basis.
No.
Because they were all different. They all sought different things. Solomon himself, he said, everything is vanity and vexation of my spirit. It's vexing.
It vexes my mind.
It vexes me.
Yeah.
And so what have we solved? What has changed? What are we solving? We're still fighting wars. The other day, this almost brought me to tears. It really did. I don't care. I mean, I understand what they're saying. I understand all that they're saying, but the problem is this. We blew up a school.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they said it was a mistake, and I'm sure it was. I'm sure they didn't mean to do it. I'm sure that. But they did. 174 people, mostly children, are dead. Their families are in sorrow today. See, we never think about it after, we hear that, and then but we don't think about the days that follow.
The only time we think about it is in a situation where it's useful for our political ideas.
But here these families are burying their children, if they can find them, if they're not just in pieces. They're burying their children. The sorrow, and these people and these children probably had nothing, one thing to do with what the Iranian government's doing.
Do they really understand it?
No, they don't. They didn't know. They're not involved in it. They're little kids, and I'm sure the parents. Is Iran the ideal nation? No, I don't think so, and I don't think Ayatollah Khomeini is a decent man. I don't. But there's a lot of indecent men in different governments. How many in our country have we found? Oh, what do we think? What
kind of corruption do we have here?
They set these men up on pedestals, and dear Lord, I've seen some of the candidates that are running right now, and I think these people haven't got a clue. They're not intelligent. They're not nothing. And yet they're running for office.
Right. And I'm sorry, Pop, but I want to think about this. What you just said. I think this is fantastic. Okay, you as a person sitting out there listening to us today, right? Okay. We're supposed to go and vote for somebody who represents my thinking.
Right.
There is not one person who represents me, what I believe, who I am as a person, that in the halls of the government of this nation. I'm going to tell you that right now. Not one. Well, Brian, you have to compromise. No, Jesus didn't. In fact, the leading officials of the day in Jerusalem Jesus said the same thing. You don't know me. You don't represent me. You don't represent the Father.
No.
In fact, he said, you're of your father, the devil. And we sit and we think, so who am I as a person? And I'm supposed to, this candidate, they believe that we should stop abortion. Well, I didn't think that was a real big question. Not to kill a baby in the womb. I mean, color me silly. I didn't know that should be anything that's debated. But that's just me. But see, then that's why you got to vote for, at least for that. Why? No, who am I as a person? And this is the point we're going to get to here. Who am I? What's my language? Is it of another kingdom? And none of these people think like me. I know that because I know what I think and I hear them talk. And then when they don't want you to know, and I listen to local radio because I think it's very interesting what's going on in the state of Missouri.
Yeah.
And I think these people there's not one of those people. I don't agree with any of it.
Well, and to your point, okay, Missouri, we pass laws against abortion, except in extreme situations. Okay. We pass laws. They recently brought up in our government, in this state, a bill to overturn that. So it just depends on how they vote. Well, okay, but a vote comes, members change.
Yeah.
Got different ideas. So how long is that going to be law? How long? I've seen a lot of presidents come and go.
Yeah.
In my life.
One or two.
I saw as a kid, first television I ever saw in my life, I was in the second grade, and we never had a TV till I was 13 years old. But there was a young girl in our class, kid, named Sally Crow, and Sally's grandmother had bought a TV. She was a well-to-do lady, and so we were all marched up to her house that day, and we all sat in her living room. We had cookies and milk, and we watched Truman's inauguration. That's the first TV show I ever saw, was President Truman's inauguration. I used to walk by his house. I lived in Independence, Missouri for a little while, and I'd go by his house in the morning going to school. And you could always tell when he's home because there's all kinds of Secret Service people out in the yard running around everywhere. And so I've seen a few from him till now. Every one of them that I ever heard talk promised this, promised that, promised this, promised that. Some of them got it done, some of them didn't. And then the next guy comes along and changes it, and they changed it. Next guy comes along, and it's all different again. So tell me who's got an answer. Tell me who's got the answer. We're still fighting wars. We're still killing people. We're still under siege. We haven't solved the peace of the world.
Wait a minute. $39 trillion.
I heard Glenn Beck say this yesterday. He said if we could find all the fraud in this country and stop it, we could pay off the debt.
It's probably true, man.
That's what he was serious. He said we could pay off the national debt if we could find all. Well, they just found another $25 billion somewhere in a certain western state.
We won't say California.
Oh, mercy. Yeah, just a bunch of honest folks out there running around just doing good everywhere.
Proverbs 18, whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. This is why I don't use the term opinion anymore. I know what the meaning of it is, but opinions are just full of emotional rant rather than thoughtful ideology. That's what I think.
Yeah.
When wickedness comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes disgrace. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. A fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook. It is not good to be partial to the wicked or to deprive the righteous of justice. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body. Whoever is slack in his work is a brother to him who destroys. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. A rich man's wealth is his strong city. And like a high wall in his imagination. Before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. So what was the question again? Here's the answer. Wait, what'd you ask? A man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? An intelligent heart, an intelligent mind, that's what that means.
Right.
An intelligent mind acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him. This is the English Standard Version, guys. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. The one who states his case first seems right until the other comes and examines him. But see, this is what happened.
Yeah.
That's not what happened.
No.
And then you have the two people. This was the great debate Solomon had. And he said, bring me the child, cut it in half and give each half. And the mother screams out, no. And he says, that's the mother.
Yep.
Genius. Simple.
Yeah.
I don't want my child to die.
No.
The lot puts an end to quarrels and decides between powerful contenders. A brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. From the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The poor use entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. You read through this whole thing and you see culture.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what Solomon sees around him within ideology, within economics, within service, worship. But in the middle of this, he said, a man's gift makes a way for him, or room, or whatever, and sets him before the great. That is culturally what these are all things that men deal with. And Solomon's looking at this whole process. And we miss this whole thing because here's the thing. What do you have to give? He's put this in the terms culturally of mankind, because we know this. All right. I want to get in good with my boss. I've got to take him to lunch. We're going to take him to nice. Ooh, yeah, baby, I'm going to get the. And then you don't get the raise.
Yeah.
That's sorry, so and so. I'm never going to spend my money.
Right.
But I gave you that.
Mm-hmm.
You suck up enough, maybe you do get the raise.
Yeah.
People say, Brian, he was giving him. What's the motive behind things? We talk about this all the time. And why are you giving something, right?
Yeah. There was a movie that depicted that years ago. It's an old movie. It was called How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I forget the actor's name, but he was prominent at the time. And yeah, How to Succeed in Business. And he went right up the ladder. He didn't know nothing about the business, but he went right up that ladder, boy. And it's a funny movie. It's a comedy, of course.
Yeah.
But, you know, it actually depicts what happens sometimes in real life. And it's the other way around, too, especially today. You can have all the credentials. I remember reading about Jeff Benner talking about his encyclopedia of the Hebrew language and going back to the original language and so forth. And he's been challenged by academics because he doesn't have a degree.
Right.
He says, well, what about that 40 years of experience I've had, doing this?
He's an intelligent man because I think he was some kind of like nuclear engineer. Or
yeah, he's something like that. And people are passed over constantly in jobs for somebody with a degree. If you don't have a degree, you don't get the job. And somebody with a degree, sometimes they're not at all qualified. Yeah. They don't do the job. And yet you've had somebody there for years that does the job, knows the job, can do the job, and you won't promote them because they don't have a degree. Now, how much sense does that make?
I can give you a clear example. My father-in-law, who worked for a major corporation,
right,
started digging ditches,
yep,
worked his way up, was in the corporate hierarchy, but couldn't take a certain position. He was training people to do this job that he was more qualified for that they wouldn't give him because he didn't have a degree.
And he had to train them to do it.
Yes. Been there, seen it.
That makes sense.
Seen it.
Doesn't it make sense?
It's amazing because, but see, what does a man have to give? What do you have to give? Solomon said that, and he's using it within the context of the cultural ideologies of men. I'm going before the king. What am I going to... What was the issue in Samuel's day? Samuel, your sons, they're taking bribes. Women are sleeping with them, whatnot.
Yep.
They were to adjudicate for that. So you saw this is the mindset. These are the things that were happening. Solomon wasn't that far removed from it. In fact, Saul came from that because the people asked for a king. David then next, which was Solomon's father.
Yeah.
You don't think he wasn't aware of these things?
Sure he was.
He was aware of it. What is he dealing with? Because then on the other side of this, see, in the end, what do you really own? I'm going to quote this gentleman, and maybe he got it from somebody else. I don't know. But you say you own that land over there.
I didn't get it from anybody else. That was my own thought, honestly.
So I'm quoting him. You own that land. You get to a certain age, you pass away, they put you in the land. Now the land owns you.
Yeah. You can't really own anything. Not literally.
Because do we really understand that the earth belongs to the Lord and the fullness thereof?
He's the owner. Yep.
So I'm going to ask you, what do you have to give? And then on that, then what's the next logical thought process? What is our inheritance? We do not understand the language of Jehovah.
No.
At all. We don't.
No.
I'm convinced of that, Pop.
Not very many do.
Because we've been discussing this since yesterday and talking through some of these things. And when you look at the language, so what do I have to give, really, as a man? Only what's been given me, really. Because if we will step back and look at this properly and in context, you own nothing because you, me, us, mankind, are created beings and we're given everything we have.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've been working for man's context, man's language, man's culture. In the truth, in the reality of it, you've been given everything.
Yes, we have.
We were given life. You didn't choose life. Not one of us sitting here, not anybody watching, not anybody in this world chose to be born.
Nope.
Nobody chose, oh, look, you down there, Brian, I want you to have me, okay? They don't exist. It's an egg and a seed.
Right.
And you don't exist before that.
Nope.
There's no soul somewhere. You are created in the womb from the seed and the egg. And you didn't choose that. Nobody has chosen. Adam did not say, hey, I need you to create me.
No.
It's time, let's go. No, Jehovah said, let us go down and make man in our image and likeness. He gave. For God so loved the world that he gave.
Yes.
So what is a man's gift? Thoughts?
Well, the only gift we have is, as Brian said, what we've been given. And I said this, I think, a few weeks ago and in a message. We have to learn to give back to the Lord what's his. And how do we do that? We give out of our life to others. We give to mankind. We give what we've been given to give. This is what Jesus did. He said, I say what I've heard my Father say, and I do what I've seen my Father do. Well, what's he giving? Something he did? No. He said, my Father, I saw my Father do this. I heard my Father say this, and so this is what I'm telling you. I'm giving you what's been given me.
Amen.
It's the only thing I have to give. I know we can say, well, I gave, somebody this, or I gave somebody some food, I gave somebody this or that. We can say, yeah, okay. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the
material things.
The material things of the world. Those we've created, and we do what we do. But the reality of something that we actually have to give is only what the Lord's given us. And this, I think, is what Solomon is getting at. What a man has to give brings him before great men. Okay. Now, the commentators will tell you that that was a custom and practice in the day. Actually, they were just trying to bribe the king when they went before him.
Because they want something.
Yeah, and the better the gift, then the more favor they got from the king.
It's true.
That's true.
We
was
still
right.
do that today.
But they still do it. Yeah. Oh, Lord help. Guy goes to Congress, a pauper, and comes out a multimillionaire. And we don't even think about that. We say, on $173,000 a year, he comes out a multimillionaire. Well,
4 cars, a Lamborghini, 2 houses, one on the beach,
a $4 million home, and all of that kind of stuff. Because they're just up there just doing everything honest and right and good and all this kind of stuff. And there ain't no lobbyist up there, So
cash money.
The only thing that we really have to give that's of value, is what the Lord's given us. And this is what Jesus did. He said, I come to do this.
Yep.
I come to tell you about the Father. That's what I come. That's my own language, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
It's exactly right.
I come to tell you what the Father told me to tell you. because there's only one thing that'll get you out of the world alive. There's only one, and that's Jesus. He's the only one that's going to get us out of this world. He's the only one. He's coming back. And when he splits the sky, it's going to be a bad day at Black Rock for a lot of folks because they gave nothing back. They gave nothing of what they had been given back.
We have to have this starting point, and why I talk about Genesis so much, and I think this eludes us. We talk about so many other things, and we go here and we go there, and this and that. But one unequivocal truth: let us go down and make man in our image and after our likeness.
Right.
Your existence is weighed in the balance against that statement. If it doesn't balance in that scale, you're not found to be righteous.
No.
Right, true, justified. All of the words that we use are caught up in that one thing. So your only gift is that. And if Dad said, this is all I can tell people. We need to be made perfect even as our Father in heaven is perfect, complete, whole, without flaw. All of these things. Oh man, Brian, you can't be without. Really? Jesus was. He was without spot or blemish. Well, that was Jesus. He was God. No, he wasn't. He was the second man created in the womb. We have to get the language correct.
Yep.
We have to come up without spot or blemish. I think it says that about the bride, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to examine ourselves. Isn't that what Paul was talking about?
Having your robes washed white.
Not thinking ourselves too highly, but with sober judgment. With a sober decision to understand what is true, what is right. That I am the image and likeness of my Father, and that's all I have to give. I have nothing else to give you.
Nothing.
Peter stands at the gate and says, I don't have any silver or gold, because that's not the point of this. And he might have had a gold coin in his pocket. I don't know. But that's man's idea of life. I want to give you the truth. Get up and walk. And the man leaped to his feet and danced into the court praising the Lord. And life, true life, wholeness, completeness.
Yep.
This is the thought process. What are we giving? We sit around and continue to talk about, we're going to change the world, man. We got to get rid of them. We need to, if they choose not to, if they want to destroy us, that's up to them. But I'm not here to drop bombs on people. I'm here to share the truth of the good news that Jesus brought, that you were created in the image and likeness of our Father. And that you can, if you will accept this gift and begin to speak the language of Jehovah in whatever dialect you have, it's about understanding the language, the culture, the kingdom of Jehovah, seeing the kingdom and its righteousness. And its righteousness is the image and likeness. Being that, you too have something to give.
And you know, this may sound funny, but what Paul and Peter and those men had to give, where did it take them? Before great men. Paul stands before Agrippa and Festus. He brought him before great men. But what did he do there?
He didn't try and bribe them.
Did he try to bribe him, offer him a gift? No, he gave what he was given.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Pop. Amen.
Let me tell
Amen.
you about. He goes to the Areopagus in Greece, they're the great men of Greece right there. And he says, let me tell you something.
At least of Athens.
Of Athens, yeah. I said, let me tell you guys something. And some of them heard him, and some of them said, okay, but some of them said, we'll hear you again.
Mm-hmm.
What did he give? A present? Gold? Money? Silver? No. Mm-mm. He gave what he had been given to give. That's what he gave. We need to understand that we need to give what we've been given to give.
You know, whether he understood that, there's a song, I like Toby McKeon. He was formerly of DC Talk, and there's a song where he says, speak life. And how do you do that? That's the language, but you have to do it right. I mean, whatever he had the motives in that song and whatnot, but the truth is there.
Mm-hmm, it is.
And if we will accept that challenge to who we are,
yep.
If we would speak to the earth properly,
yep.
Speak around, that was the authorship we were given. We were given the authorship of our Father to speak on his behalf, to maintain the order of the cultural understanding of the kingdom of Jehovah, how everything is set in motion. And if we will get back to that, we will see the Lord work with us.
Yep.
We got to get back to that, though.
Yep.
Not for your denomination, not for your organization, not for the institutions, but for the kingdom and the kingdom alone, and not what you can gain from it, not because somebody gave you something to go and do something. Just go and do.
Yep.
And let the Lord work with you doing. Amen?
Your mom put a couple of things in here.
Yeah.
When we was talking about abortion, she said, concerning abortion, what about the commandment that says thou shalt not kill?
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
And not commit murder. And then she said, so Jehovah does all the giving, period, from the beginning to now.
Yeah.
He does.
It's all a gift.
Everything's a gift.
Remember, you didn't ask to be born. You weren't asked to be created. And this is where the predestinationists get it all jacked up, these people. It kills me. No, you weren't chosen before. Yeah, he chose to make mankind. Not you in particular. You're mankind, so yeah, he set in motion mankind. And from that, we are birthed, and he gave us the power of procreation. So that was another gift that we have. Mm-hmm. And if you choose to give life in that fashion, then you better be understanding the responsibility that you have to give the life of Jehovah to that baby,
right,
to that child. And we don't do that. And I'm sorry, folks, that's a form of idolatry. There's a lot we don't understand, and we're not being taught these things. But we need to start waking up.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Hope that made you think. Hope it was interesting to you. And we appreciate you tuning in. Really do. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Daylight Time, I guess now, right? I don't know.
No. Yeah.
Because we sprung forward.
We sprung forward, Central Daylight Time.
Yeah. So everybody, have a great day in the Lord. Always remember to give love.
And give life.
And give Jesus.